James Elder, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. With me, I've got the WBA World Champion George Groves. We're here at the press conference as he takes on Jamie Cox in the first round of the World Boxing Super Series. What's happening, George? How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well, thank you, James.
Good, good. Let's talk a little bit about how things have been your preparation since we last caught up with you at the draw. What's been going on? How's camp been?
Yeah, good. Back in the gym. I sort of just come back off holiday in Monaco. Monaco wasn't quite the holiday, as you know as well. It was a lot of work, a lot of business, a lot of filming. So we was in and out. But as soon as I got back, I was back in the gym and in a good place. Excited about everything that's on the horizon, and being impatient, you want to know it all at once, but they haven't. They've been drip feeding us. The rounds, who's fighting when, who's doing this, who's doing that. So we had the date from the gala, October 14th. Obviously, I knew I was picking Jamie, so once I knew Jamie had showed up and he was in it, picked him. Knew I had that fight, and we've just been in the gym, just doing our thing ever since. So yeah, very good.
Since the Frotch fights, have you craved that big British fight? That chance to be sort of main event on home soil with everybody sort of around you?
I don't think I've craved it, but they are good fun. They are really good fun. You know what I mean? And sometimes you forget just how big a buzz this can happen. But for me, the me and Frotch situation was a freak thing in that it just caught fire and it just sort of exploded. And I'm never really chasing that again because if you get hung up on that, I feel you might be that sort of fellow who seeks attention and that, but that's not really me. I'd much rather just go about in business, try and earn a few quid, try and win a few belts, try and knock a few people out. So this is I picked Jamie because it is an all-British affair, and it'll add a bit of spice, do well for the tournament, but also because I know the most about him out of all the other opponents, and that always makes me feel a little bit comfortable. Even if he turns out to be tougher than the rest, I know more about him, which sets me in good stead, and I know I've got more than enough to deal with Jamie Cox, win really well. So it's actually a massive bonus for me now that people are sort of talking him up a little bit more, because you hear Eddie Hearn talking that he was lucky he even got selected at the period. He didn't think he was going to. They thought that because no one really knows him, he'll be avoided, but he was picked first. And now, obviously it's predominantly the Swindon branch who are saying, I've picked wrong and Jamie Cox won't be picked first, he'll be avoided. But
You're referring to Paddy Fitzpatrick with that comment?
No, just obviously from Swindon in general. So I haven't seen anything from Paddy, but I know he told me before that he'd worked with Cox. Didn't tell me why they stopped working together, but he told me that he'd done a bit with Cox before. So I wouldn't have sort of been surprised if he would sort of feel excited that he could be the man in the know. But see how we go. But yeah.
Have you brought in any specialist southpaws for training for camp to sort of work out to sort of?
Can't find any, James. Can you go southpaw?
Funny enough, I actually am a southpaw.
Southpaw. There you go.
I don't think I'm quite on the level that you're looking for, to be honest, and I'm a bit out of shape.
I wouldn't say that. What do you weigh?
Unknown at the minute, probably about 16 and a half, 16 and a half stone. Bit big.
That's what we like. We like them big. So we've got one.
Just don't think I've got the resistance.
Resistance. What is that? Walking past that 24-hour McDonald's on the way to the gym?
Let's not comment on that.
No, we got a few southpaws. There's plenty of southpaws. I mean, it's been great that so many people have sort of thrown themselves in. I think everyone fancies punching me in the face these days, or they just want to help me because they like me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we got plenty of southpaws in, plenty of southpaws lined up, but. Yeah, I don't ever try to talk too much about sparring. It's a secret. Every now and again, I like to keep things to myself, and it's not always good to share. Not with you guys, because your videos get quite a lot of hits. A lot of people watching.
That's true. This is also true. What do you make of Eddie Hearn saying that you chose Jamie Cox to be quirky? There were easier fights for you to choose in the tournament, but you've done this to play up to the quirky image that he portrays of you.
No. I don't know. I have to look up what quirky means. So I don't see how any of it's sort of quirky. If you thought it was just, you know, I don't know. But yeah, no, I picked Jamie because I thought this is the guy who's going to be the easiest for me. You know, he's the guy who I feel I know most about. It always makes me very, very much more comfortable when I'm fighting someone who I know a little bit more about. So, you know, whether that be sometimes you can suss out someone's personality because you've seen enough of interviews from them, you've spent time with them, you've trained alongside them, stuff like that. You might have sparred them before in the past. Obviously, never sparred Jamie when we sort of trained together. He was always too small, too light. But you know, I've seen him fight. I feel that I've got so many things sort of in my favour for this that as long as I do what I can do, it's all about me. Then I win and I win well. So yeah, Jamie was always the sort of first choice for me. We spoke about it. Obviously, we had a choice. Usually, an opponent is sort of semi-decided for you. In that, are they available? Are they affordable? Do they work well for me? Or you take a fight that you don't necessarily like, but you're going to get paid more for it, etc. But this is just like they're all decent fighters. Don't really know much about any of them because they haven't boxed at the highest level yet. But Cox was one that I fancied the most, so that was that.
I mean, you've gone into this as the WBA World Champion, the number 1 seed. You seem, since you've won the world title against Judinov, you seem very more comfortable in your skin. Do you feel that this is the right timing for you and everything sort of, as you've put everything for a reason?
Yeah, I might get that strap line out again one day, but not quite yet. You know, that'll be at the end. I might just be on my deathbed but until then, yeah, you know, I feel that this tournament genuinely has come along for me in particular at the perfect time, you know, because I'm the only legitimate world champion in it. You know, I'm the informed fighter. I'm the one who's boxed at the highest level consistently, you know, over the last few years. But since working with Shane McGuigan, we went through a rebuilding phase, and if this tournament had come along a year before, and I was still relatively fresh in my sort of working relationship with Shane McGuigan, then there still might be an added hiccup of, you know, confidence between me and him. But I feel he knows me really well now as a fighter and a person, and vice versa, him as a trainer and a person. We both have complete confidence in the selection of Jamie Cox. We know, he said, it's nice to sort of have someone say something to you before you said it to them, and you're on the same wavelength. So I beat everyone in it, I feel, you know, but Jamie Cox is the right one to win well, come through it unscathed, and then looking on to whoever's next. So perfect timing for me.
Are you looking at the Eubank fight and potentially thinking,
I
can't wait?
I mean, it's in the back of your mind because you know it's there. This is part of the tournament format, you know, and it'll be who can deal with the pressure of having a fight on a fight on a fight, you know. They're the ones that are going to succeed. Will Eubank be able to do that? I don't know, you know. He likes to have a lot of things his own way, and the thing with a tournament, you have to necessarily sign away a lot of rights, you know. So, but it's for the greater cause, because as long as you're good enough, you're winning, and you've got so much to gain from being a part of it. I won't be watching that fight, to be honest. It's a week before my fight. I'll be zoned in on Jamie Cox. I might watch Callum Smith fight because it's quite far out, but I won't be watching it with an eye on maybe meeting one of those two in the final. I'm just conditioning the body to be in full control, firing on all cylinders each and every time I have to box in this tournament. We know how to do that, you know. So.
Has Shane McGuigan's split with Carl Frampton played or had any bearing in your camp? Has it had any ripple into your camp?
Well, you know, it's still pretty new, pretty fresh, and I don't know the full story there, you know, and I don't want to. I think it's very personal. You know, they were one and the same, weren't they? You know, Frampton and Cyclone. They've been together on that journey for so long. So it's it's very sad for me to see them sort of go separate ways. I mean, I think both do better together than apart, but this is boxing, you know, and this is the sort of stuff that sort of toughens you up, you know. And Barry McGuigan has sort of certainly experienced everything there is in boxing, inside and outside the ring. He's been through so many torrid situations and come through them, you know. Shane, I feel, is exactly what I need him to be right now. He hasn't changed as a trainer. He's on it, you know. If he's upset, which I'm sure he must be, you would be, you know, losing a friend as such, you know. But he's still the ultimate professional. We're still working hard in the gym, and it's good because the gym's in a real strong position right now. As in, the fighters in there are good fighters. They're in the gym. Every one of them are in there training now. They've all got big fights coming up. You know, we've got Taylor. Taylor's back in the gym. Taylor's fighting soon. I think he's got a date announced soon, or it might be already announced. Chris Billum-Smith's now with us, cruiserweight. He's got his debut September 16th, but he's also fighting on my undercard. Chantel, is back in the gym. She's working hard. She's got I think she's out again in September, October at York Hall. So it's gym's a good place. Gym's thriving, and that's all I really want. You know, I'm not interested in the nitty gritties and that anymore. Luckily for me, the business side of things is taken care of for the next 10 months. You know, all I've got to do is keep winning. So all I've got to do is stay in the gym. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got to worry about, you know, trying to be Eddie Hearn's mate, because sometimes we're mates, sometimes we're not. You know, it's much easier when we are mates, but sometimes naturally you're not. And if I need to get on a pay-per-view card, then you know, we've got to get a deal done, and you know, second guessing, or vice versa. If I'm trying to get on a Channel 5 card, or I'm trying to get out on an Al Heyman card, or this or that, but this is set. We are on our way. Just stay in the gym. Just stay happy. You know, I'm happy. I'm aggressive, a bit bullish, a bit spiteful, but I'm saving it, and I'm savouring it. So,
give me a fight prediction for your fight with Jamie Cox. How do you see the fight ending?
I think it'll be my prediction will be the same as I always say, is that Jamie Cox won't hear the final bell. From what's said today, they might be going down the Cole Froch rule of thumb, is that, you know, they can chin me, or that I tire and they get me late. You know, if you get honest accounts from, say, Martin Murray, I think Martin Murray's plan was to sort of make me miss a bit and then build momentum and come on strong. And I think he'll say that he struggled to deal with the long shots of mine, struggled to deal with the body shots, and then wasn't able to sort of implement his plan. And then absolute warrior got to the final bell, but probably was in a bit of trouble in the process. I don't think Jamie Cox will be able to do Martin Murray does. I think Martin Murray's a much better, more rounded fighter and bigger. Size is important.
Do you think the size will pay a big difference?
Size will certainly pay a big difference, you know. Whenever I've got height on someone, they struggle. If I've got reach and length on my shots, they're going to struggle. Jamie could try and go for a dance for six rounds. He could try and play a fiddling game with me. He won't win the long punch battle. So if he wants to then rush me, he's going to have to do it with a tight guard and hope he don't get hit on the way in, which I believe he will. So I've been preparing for southpaws my whole life. You know, I grew up in a southpaw gym. The fundamentals are there. You know, it doesn't take me long to change and adjust to a southpaw. I actually like it. I like stepping and thinking about the front foot, thinking about the long shots, thinking about the lead right hook. So I'm not going to linger with my chin in the air with Jamie Cox, because I know the shots he throws well. But the success he's had in his previous fights are against guys of a lower caliber and a much smaller size. So he's been fighting light middleweights, blown up welterweights, you know, middleweights. His last fight he had out in sort of tried to keep it sort of undercover in Barcelona. I think he went the distance, but again with a guy with a losing record. Do you know what I mean? I've never heard of the dude. He's a light heavyweight according to BoxRec, but that's about as much as we know. So he's probably thought, right, I need another fight. I need to see what it feels like to move around a big lump. but you've got to be in there with live opposition. You know what I mean? So me fighting Chudinov, you know, obviously allowed me to win a world title, but also put me in perfect stead. I thought he was a perfect opponent for me to go into this tournament with, because he would give anyone a hard night's work. But I found my range, I found my shots, and I got rid of him. Do you know what I mean? I got rid of him when no one else got rid of him. No one else even got close. So we're good, all good.
Anything you want to add before we go? Anything you want to mention?
I don't know. I always forget this bit. You always ask me this bit at the end, and I always forget you're going to ask this bit, because I should have had a bit to add and mention at the end, because I always feel that's a wasted opportunity. Thinking this is when the golden moments sort of slip in, and you get caught off guard. But really, no. As I say, this fight hopefully will capture the public's imagination, as is already. Hopefully people are already interested in the tournament. I'm always taken back when people talk to me about stuff and they're aware of the situation, because lots of people say, I'm a huge fan of yours, I saw the Froch fight. You're like, yeah, everyone saw the Froch fight, tell me something else. And then, but when people say, when you fight next, and you go, oh, right, yeah, next month, oh yeah, you're in the WSB, you're in the tournament, you fight Jim Cox, and I know all this already, and it's only going to get bigger, I think. Once they finally announce the TV sort of deal, you have TV sort of backing it, and then obviously more of the, not you guys are brilliant, you cover absolutely everything, but a lot more of the boxing press now get excited, say, oh, this has actually got a TV, it's actually got some legs, that's actually good, so they'll start getting behind it, and then once the tournament actually kicks off, everyone's going to know what they're expecting, what's to come. So
it's exciting, this is the first one as well, it's sort of a bit of unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, it really is. I mean, and I don't think it's going to go to the form book. That's you know, that's what's keeping me on the edge of my toes, because I know I can't just be like, right, I'm a favourite for this, so all I've got to do is show up and win. Not going to be the case. Not going to be the case, because you need to. There's so many other variables involved. The pressure that people are going to have to deal with is the one thing that will be the making or the breaking of the vast majority of the fighters in this tournament. Fortunately for me, I thrive under pressure. Love a bit of pressure, so we'll have to wait and see if everyone else can, because as of yet, even if you go down the A team or the B side, how many of them have dealt with a lot of pressure? Jürgen Bremer's been in big fights, but he looks half asleep. Do you know what I mean? Callum Smith hasn't had any pressure yet. You know, Rocky Fielding was the pressure fight, but he knew that wasn't a real fight for him. He'll be confident against Skogler. He's got home advantage. But even if you're confident in the first round, you know at some point you're going to be facing the bigger guys, the better guys, the guys who are improving throughout the tournament. So it's exciting.
Best of luck. Thank you very much for coming to our podcast. Great to get you on. We appreciate it as always. Cheers, George.